Hey YouTube, this is VidHead85, and I want to talk a little bit about sex negativity. Now, when I was little, I was always told that that you should get married, and then have kids, and whatever. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I've always said that I was going to wait till marriage, but then again, later on, as I progressed in my teenagers, I knew, oh yeah, I like boys. Well, boys my age, of course, but now, well, hell, I like older guys now. Hey, they know, they can teach me a few things. But anyway, despite that, when I was younger, I've always had like a negative view of sex because, I was in church a lot and everything, and they told me that I should wait till marriage. And then I'm like, okay, I'll wait till marriage. And then I'm like, well, I want to be with a guy, so should I wait till it's legal? And for some of them, that would be waiting a long time, so they might as well keep fornicating while they can, before they become respectable married folks, and the sex drive kerplucks like a, I don't know, like a person holding a hot potato or something. So anyway, what I want to talk about is sex negativity, and the fact that, yeah, while I would rather have waited till marriage, I wasn't going to be getting married anytime soon, and, how long would it have actually been if I would have, discovered sex during marriage and then, would have been with that person the rest of my life. Now, a lot of people aren't even with the first person that they had sex with, and that's a statistical unlikeliness. But, however, I kind of wonder, if I were a virgin when I got married or whatever. But then again, hell, I mean, I technically, quote, am a virgin because I've only had sex with guys. And people say, unless you tried Pepsi, girls, you're still a virgin. You only have Kool-Aid, guys. So I'm like, whatever. I'll keep sipping the Kool-Aid. I like the Kool-Aid. But although I don't mind having a little bit of Sprite in my Kool-Aid because it gives a little bit of carbonation or whatever. But anyway, I digress. So, you know what? How can America talk about sex if we have such a negative view on it? Like, how can we talk about, one pastor was saying, we can't even talk about homosexuality if we can't talk about sexuality in the first place. And, you know what? I would rather give my kid a condom than just say don't have sex, because what happens when you tell a kid don't do something? They do it. And you know what? Why are we treating sexuality if only as if it's an adults only thing? I'm sorry, but before you're an adult, you're an adolescent, and before you're an adolescent, you're a kid. And kids start touching themselves. And guess what? A woman I know, I think she lives in Chippewa somewhere. She walked in and saw, or actually, I don't know if she walked in and saw her 6-year-old masturbating herself, but I told her, listen, don't freak out, because the last thing you want to do is make it seem like it's wrong. It's actually normal, and it's kind of funny how masturbation is looked at a little bit more healthy as you get older. Why? Because sometimes you just have the urge and you need to, and get yourself off. If it gets you over the cliff, I'm all for it. But the main thing I really don't like about our culture is it's so sex negative, and it treats teens as if we tell them about sex, then all of a sudden we're trying to turn them into prostitutes and all this other stuff. And there was this little black book in Massachusetts that had a whole big thing about it, but it was telling them the truth. And then this whole thing about Fistgate, really, like, come on, that's a conservative like moralist wet dream, to be able to say, hey, look at Glisten and what they did. They're trying to sexualize our children. Well, children are already sexualized in the first place. We just don't want to believe that they are. Like Dan in real life, who was really, really reluctant to see his girls grow up into beautiful little lilies. But then again, with guys, we want them to, you tag that, huh? But with a girl, you let him get you let him get through your wall, girl. But then again, you know what? But then again, we're supposed to act like women aren't supposed to express their sexuality, and guys are supposed to express it all over the place. I'm sorry. A hoe is a hoe is a hoe. Be it man or a woman. I don't really give a hoot nanny what you say. Because if anything, why are we sitting here trying to make it seem like sex is something that only adults do? But when you're a teen, you explore it. And a lot of times, a lot of gay teens, we don't explore that. So when we finally come out and we explore it, we have a lot of feelings of, oh my goodness, I'm feeling like this is wrong, but it just feels so right when I'm with a guy. Like, I don't know that I'm completely gay, because when I'm with a guy, I don't know, it just feels like like this was like a hand to a glove. It just fits. And I never knew that during high school. And if I were able to explore it, I think I would have probably been a different person than I am today. But a lot of it helped me mature a little bit more too. Now I will say I am reliving my adolescence because that's how it is right now. That's how I feel because I didn't give myself permission to explore it. And a lot of times parents don't give their children permission to explore their sexuality. And that's where a lot of us, I believe that a lot of adults are sexually scarred, and then later on they come to realize, you know what, I'm shirking off this sex negativity because it's perfectly normal for me to express my sexuality, whether it be physical intimacy or whether it be something else. Like you don't have to have penetrative sex in order to be intimate, although that's just more fun. So anyway, I keep on saying, it keeps on coming back to a vote. How can we really address teen pregnancy if we don't address sexuality? How can we address STDs if we don't address sexuality? How can we combat STDs if all we're going to say is wait till marriage and not teach them how to use a condom, not teach them how to implant a female condom, and the moment that we have a dildo and a condom and demonstrate how you put it on, people are like, no, that's sexualizing our kids. But they're sexualized already. They are, I hear even a baby can have an orgasm, but there is no sexual component since that's not what they know. So, we're born sexual creatures anyway. We just explore that later on. And we've got to stop this sex negativity. We got to start introducing our kids to the birds and the bees earlier, because by age 10, the girl has probably fingered herself and the guy has probably stroked himself. And maybe they've even explored with different things if they know what they are. In fact, some people have known at 7, some people knew at 5, some people have always known. But we got to stop the sex negativity in our houses, because if anything, we know what they're doing. It's not like we're stupid. Parents know, but if they're not willing to address it, how can they be surprised when their little girl walks in with a big belly, or their son sits them down and say, I got a girl pregnant, or their little sweet little boy says, well, hey mom, dad, I'm sweet, or mom, dad, I got an STD. Or even, how can you open the floodgates? I want to say one thing about how you do that. Give them a pack of condoms, and you say, hey, I'm not going to act like you're not having sex. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. I don't know. Because people start acting differently after they done had it. They kind of get a little bit compulsive. I got to say, sometimes you're a bit more relaxed after you go a long time without, and then you get a little something, go swimming, as I like to call it sometimes. Sometimes you're a bit more irritable without it because it's an intense one. It's not immediate, But we just got to be blunt with our kids and be like, hey, I know you're doing it, so I'm not going to front and pretend as if you're not. So here's some condoms. Now let me get a banana. This is how you put it on. Take the condom, you roll it down, and you can also make it a nice part of foreplay by, kissing and whatever else, and then you just rip it off and you put it on. It worked for me. It was still hot. It didn't kill the mood. And also, you get a banana and you show them how to. And with the female condom, you get a model and it's like a can liner. You just shove it up in there, and make sure it's in the right hole, of course, because the woman will know that, but hopefully the guy will too if you're straight. And there you go. So that's a little bit about sex negativity and how we need to just. It's got to go, because the reality of it is, it doesn't work. Abstinence only sex education doesn't work, and the whole overly moral abstinence thing just does not work for most people. Oh yeah, and also ID Glide. I forgot to mention that. Condoms and lube. You gotta have lube. If you If especially for well, just think about going down a water slide with no water, and that's basically what sex without lube will be for you. So, and I bought this. It was like 17 bucks, and I kind of like the ID Glide because it's slipperier. Let me get this out of here. But anyway, those are my thoughts on sex negativity. It's gotta go. It's not good for folks. And I'll see you later, YouTube. VidHead85 out of here.